What is your favourite game of all time? I've been asked that question too many times, and I always bottle it. I normally say like my top 5, or I just pull some at random and just throw it at people's faces, but today, nah bruv, we're going for it. This is my top 50 video games of all time. And standard quick disclaimers, obviously I haven't played every single video game, but if you think I'm missing something, or if you want to be a truly awesome nerd, let me know down below. I genuinely love when people tell me like what their favourite game is of all time. I think that's just one of the best things about gaming, man. Everyone has a different favourite game. It could be your top 10, top 5, top 3, or just your favourite one. Let me know down below. That'd be truly sick. And lastly, I've had nearly every single video game console there is on the market except the Xbox One, and I do not have an Xbox Series X. Let's start the list.
This is number 52 in a top 50 list, but I thought, you know what, F it. I lost count, and this has to be on this list purely because, well, first of all, it's actually a really good game. I played the hell out of this on the PlayStation, but most importantly, this changed my taste in music till this day. I guess another honourable mention, or we'll just go with number 51. This is my most played and most loved Nintendo 64 game of all time. By this point in time, while I'm playing this, I'm like fully into Pokemon. I like Pokemon Snap. It's actually outrageous that I still have not played Pokemon Snap 2, but every time you finish a course, you unlock something new, i.e. the apple, etc. You go back, there's new stuff. Also, I'm never going to forget that this Magma literally murks off Charmander and he's sent to the Gulag. Genuinely blew my mind back in the day, and I will play number 2 very soon. Officially starting this list at number 50 is Hercules for the PlayStation 1. The Disney animated movie is my favourite, well, Disney animated movie of all time. I've seen it so many times. I remember playing this game when it first came out, just blew my mind. There's so many like little power-ups and stuff. The levels are awesome. The noises as well.
Hercules!
This had a huge variety of different levels, and I was like extremely young when this came out. It genuinely blew my mind, but the biggest thing for me in this game, apart from all the stuff I just said, the boss battles were absolutely sick.
Hercules!
Battlefront 2 for the PlayStation. This is not the new game for PS4, ladies and gentlemen. This is the original. This is the OG, baby. It's going to be one of those things, unless you played this back in the day, you might not get it looking back at this now, but being able to play as any character from the OG trilogy, the prequel trilogy, on the fly, with actually really good story, if I'm being honest, with great combat and stuff, this game blew my mind. I don't think they'll ever make Battlefield this good, I'm just saying.
This time, we're going to try to understand the root of your anxiety.
I do really like games where the things I do affect my character or characters and affects the world I'm living in, and Until Dawn takes that concept and goes to the absolute extreme, bruv. The fact that no one is safe, anyone can die at any minute, your actions have genuine, humongous consequences.
It's a threat.
Chris, this is serious. We need to find Josh right now.
And on top of that, the fact that this is a horror game and it's actually really bloody scary. Hey, I gotta give big love to this game. It caught me out when I first played it and I still love it.
Hello, and thank you all for joining me. Tonight, we're gonna conduct a little experiment, sort of test.
I think they called me 47.
That's not a name.
So make it one.
This is Hitman 1. There is actually a trilogy now. As embarrassing as it is, as such a big Hitman fan as I am, I'm just a fraud, ladies and gentlemen. I have not played number 2 or number 3, and I've heard apparently they're even better than this one. I've heard actually number 3 in the trilogy is god tier. Now, this game has hardly any levels, but it has the thing that I love in Hitman the most, where every level is so unbelievably massive, mate. Getting this gameplay, I replayed the whole of this first one, is so unbelievably sick. I'm so ashamed that I haven't played the other two. It's actually outrageous. The combat's perfect, multiple ways you can kill each target, which gives it really good replayability. It's actually got one of my favourite levels ever. What you're seeing now is probably in like my top 3 favourite levels for Hitman. Each level feels like a real place in the world. It's sick.
This is no ordinary contract, 47. Caruso's virus is a serious threat to our craft and trade, so failure is not an option.
Am I the only one who can feel the crosshairs just about here?
You get home, ladies and gentlemen, you have dinner, you chill for a little bit, and then you ring up the bros and you say, hey, what time you going on Gears? That was genuinely my life back then on the Xbox 360. I miss those days, man. And I'm so sorry I can't get multiplayer gameplay footage. I can only do the story for this, but Gears of War 3, for me, was the best Gears of War game ever, to be honest. I really do like Gears of War 2. There was just a lot of bugs, a lot of glitches in that game. Online was amazing, but I do think, for me personally, Gears of War 3 was the one where I was like, yeah, man, this is our goddamn hype, and just playing with your bros every day. Soulcalibur 4, when this came out, genuinely blew my mind. I already liked fighting games a lot. You're going to see in this list, I like fighting games in general, but when this first came out and I saw Yoda, Darth Vader, Starkiller, all in one game with characters that I already love in the Soulcalibur series, my mind was blown, bruv. I was absolutely blown. And
do not resist.
Here's story time with Semz, ladies and gentlemen. I played this game every single day for about 4 weeks. I got to rank 3,000 in the world, which back then was a goddamn hype. I stopped playing for 2 days and I got pushed back to rank 8k. And I was like, okay, this stops right now.
I shall release your power now.
See if there's anything unusual going on with their equipment. Keep us posted.
I miss the good old days, ladies and gentlemen, and some of the good old days is playing Splinter Cell. Number 2 was amazing as well, but number 3, Chaos Theory, was an absolute goddamn hype. The peak, or one of the peaks of Xbox. I wish they made games like this now, man, if I'm being honest. This, ladies and gentlemen, for your boy, is the good old days. Not even mentioning the online, which was so unbelievably sick for back in the day. We rinsed the hell out of this on the Xbox.
Hi there. You look important.
This actually had a really, really good story. I'm a little bit disappointed with the way Splinter Cell's been going. Recently, I think they need to go back to just stealth routes. I think they can come back on top, mate. If you've ever followed me on any social media, YouTube, Instagram, whatever it is, you know the Xenomorph, ladies and gentlemen, is my favourite creature of all time. And I love horror. I love the first Alien movie. It's actually my favourite horror movie ever made. Now I get to just absolutely shit myself on this game. In fact, I actually have gameplay footage on the channel of me finishing this game with genuine reactions. I'm shitting myself, bruv. Is nightmare fuel for me. Xenomorph so much, but god damn, this game is just, it's too much, man. Unless you've got that stupid tracker, which is scary enough, beeping away, that's just enough to make you start sweating, mate. But you never know where the Xenomorph is. He can come out left, right and centre at any point during the game. And you got androids to worry about. Nah, fam. I'm all for this game. It's genuinely one of my favourites ever. But maybe for the wrong reason, because this is the scariest game I've ever played. I've never played a game made me sweat and question life like this game did. Yet another game, unfortunately, on this list, ladies and gentlemen, and I cannot play the music because I will get copyright claimed and this video will never see the light of day. Need for Speed Underground had arguably one of the greatest video game soundtracks of all time. I would say right now, I'm just throwing it out there into the universe, I have not played Forza, the newest game. I've heard that is an absolute hype. Maybe one day I'll play it, but for me, this is my favourite racing game of all time. Back in the day, bro, damn. I do like Need for Speed as a brand. I wouldn't say I'm the biggest fan kind of thing. I'm definitely by no stretch like a fanboy, but this is still currently anyway my favourite racing game of all time. I just remember like talking about this with my boys. It's a hype, mate. And again with the soundtrack, it's a win, mate.
47, this is Diana from Agency. We're all happy you're back doing business for us.
This is definitely where my Hitman obsession came from, ladies and gentlemen. This is Hitman Silent Assassin, the second game in the franchise, and this is on the PlayStation. I'll be honest, this is too hard, bruv. Even now as an adult. But I was way too young playing this, but hey, big up my parents. It's got some of my favourite levels in the franchise. So satisfying when you get the kills. I just got to give this game love, man. It goes everywhere across the planet. Every map is so different. You got Russia, Japan, and you move all over the place. This was the start of my Hitman obsession. I have to give this game big love, man.
My son, I knew you will come back. Please, take this.
So my first Pokemon game for Game Boy was actually Pokemon Blue, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be completely honest. I started off with Pokemon Blue, but it wasn't until Pokemon Yellow came out where I could be Pikachu and I can have Charmander, Squirtle and Bulbasaur and play the OG game with all the starters back to back. That for me, it literally blew my mind, mate. In fact, like this probably like paved the way for my Pokemon obsession, which you're going to see a little bit later on the list. There's another Pokemon game, an absolute banger, my favourite one. But Pokemon Yellow, man, respect. You'll be able to see on this list that I love games that whatever I do or say, just the actions that I take, if they affect the game and affect the world, I'm down for it, man. Detroit Become Human, this world where androids is taken over, you play as multiple characters. This has one of the best stories I've ever seen, man, played in any video game, and a lot of people have still slept on this game for some reason. It also is one of the most visually stunning games for the PlayStation 4, which is what I played on. Characters, ladies and gentlemen, are so good, so compelling, and the story is so emotional. I played this 4 times now. Every single time I've had different things happen, different characters don't make it or do make it. Combat's amazing with quick time events. I love this game, man.
Kill him.
I actually, initially, can you believe this, was not going to put any Call of Duty on this list, and then my mate was like, hey man, you played Warzone like every day for like half a year, bruv, maybe even longer. And I was like, do you know what, now that I think about it, Black Ops 2 is a bloody hype, mate. It's definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, my favourite Call of Duty game of all time. I'm so sorry, but yet again, I cannot get any online footage of me playing this game. I had to just replay the story and just to show you guys, but it's got 2 of my favourite maps of all time, man. Nuketown and Hijacked. I used to put Hijacked on loop and just play it over and over and over. It started my, like, I wouldn't say Call of Duty obsession, but I bought every game ever after this game.
Hundreds of heavily armed mercenaries have struck LA simultaneously.
Any word on casualties?
Downtown LA evacuated. Preliminary reports are below expectations.
Again, innocence falls prey to the evil of Spider-Man.
Spider-Man on the PlayStation, ladies and gentlemen. I played the hell out of this game, man. I played it over and over and over, and I got all the skins and I collected all the comics. The villains are amazing. There's so many characters in this game. Probably the most Marvel characters in any game apart from like the big like Marvel team-up games.
That's it? You believe me? I don't have to believe you. I know you aren't lying. But how? Let's just say you've got your superpowers and I've got mine.
The story was good, the combat was good, everything about this game was an absolute hype. I'm a massive fanboy for Marvel. Of course, like, I'm gonna love this game. Spider-Man's in my top 5 favourite, like, MCU, or not even MCU, sorry, Marvel characters in general, and played the hell out of this game. Venom was so goddamn good, and this scene here, an absolute nightmare. I still hate this playing now, getting this game footage.
Here it is, the records room.
Surf the web, surf the web.
Shut up, Brock, we don't have time.
God be with you.
I actually started with Metal Gear Solid 2 and it was so hard that I actually skipped it, bruv. I was like, you know what, F this game, and I went and got Metal Gear 3. The characters, the villains are so good. I'm about the villain life, and playing this game was like playing a movie with immense cutscenes, immense characters, immense dialogue, and every single like villain battle was so unique. It just blew my mind as a child. I absolutely love the gameplay, man. I think it's got the perfect balance of stealth, action, little bits of RPG in it. I think it's flawless, mate. This is definitely, in my useless nerd opinion, the greatest Metal Gear Solid game of all time. Of course, I've played 2 again since, but this still holds up as number 1.
You look like you could use some rest.
I'll be fine. It's just that playing these 2 roles hasn't left me much time to sleep.
Back in the day, ladies and gentlemen, no cap, this blew my little reptilian brain mind, mate, because playing as all these Marvel characters, and bear in mind, I'm obsessed with Marvel now, but as a child, I was like, it was just my favourite thing ever, and mixing it with Capcom, the Street Fighter gang, and all that lot. I wish they would hurry up and make Marvel vs. bloody Capcom 4, mate. Just give it a hit. Come on, Capcom, what you doing, bruv? Resident Evil 3 is a absolute dub, mate. I love the story of this game. I love Jill Valentine, one of my favourite in the franchise, and Nemesis. He's iconic at this point. I think you could probably show Nemesis to like anyone and they're gonna know who Nemesis is, regardless if they've even played Resident Evil. That's how powerful he is as a villain. He's literally iconic. The zombies in this game, sick. The horror's definitely toned down. That's his only thing, but the action's insane. A lot of like the highs of the franchise is in this game, if I'm being totally honest. I love seeing Raccoon City outside. That was one of the only things that stopped the second game for me, even though I do think the second game overall is way better than this game. You'll see it a little bit later, don't worry, but this, I still love the hell out of this.
It's me he's after.
Hey.
I'll buy you some time.
Hey, wait! Wait, Jill! No!
It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Messer Ezio. Annetta speaks quite highly of you.
I appreciate the kind words, Madonna.
I'm always honest, Nerd Army. If this was a top 50 best games of what I think are the best games, this would be way higher on the list. I'm just being honest with that, but I still love this game, man. Ezio at the point right now is just iconic. One of the most iconic video game characters ever. As a second game, I mean, this paved the way, arguably, and turned Assassin's Creed into this absolute juggernaut franchise where we nearly get a new game every year. The game looks amazing. The combat's amazing. We finally get double hidden blades. It looks beautiful, mate. Look at that, bro. Come on now. I really, really love Mortal Kombat, ladies and gentlemen, and I gotta be honest, man, I thought about it long and hard for this video. Mortal Kombat 11 is the best Mortal Kombat game ever made. Just from a story aspect, it's actually so good. If you're not, like, into the story at all, you can go into this and you appreciate the hell out of it. And that's not even to mention the combat, man. I think it's the best. It's got the best roster of characters. The X-ray moves, the fatalities, they are so unbelievably perfectly flawless, bruv. As a big Mortal Kombat fan, it was great to see. Unfortunately, can't even show the fatalities on here. I've done a few of them on YouTube, reactions and stuff, and they get age restricted, so I ain't gonna mess around with that. But Mortal Kombat 11, big up yourself.
Emperor Strange, bad fellows. What do you say we skip the preliminaries and y'all come with us quietly?
Is this it?
No, it has to load.
Load?
Yes.
This is taking a really long time.
You have no patience.
When you turn something on, you expect it to... Okay, there we go.
I can truly see anyone like drop me an argument that Uncharted 2 is the best or Uncharted 3 is the best. My personal opinion is Uncharted 4. I do think it's the perfect game in the franchise. The stealth, the shooting, the action, the cutscenes. I think it has the perfect balance. I've replayed this countless times, man. I still know people who have a PlayStation 4, ladies and gentlemen, outrageously have not played this game.
Where is it?
Right.
I do think the combat in this game, especially the shooting and the driving, if I'm being honest, are way better than the other Uncharted games. But from a story perspective, man, the writing is so good. I know they tried their best with the movies. Just allow it, bruv. You're never going to come close to the Uncharted 4 gaming experience. If you ain't played it, go check it out.
Coming from
If we're talking about a story that's emotional, gritty, realistic, scary, and is based in a gaming world that just actually feels real, I think The Last of Us is like an instant dub. It's an instant win. This is one of the most mature games I've ever played, and it is so goddamn brutal, mate. The world feels alive in this post-apocalyptic world filled with crazy-ass dudes, zombies. Joel and Ellie are so good. It's so emotional, bruv. If you have not played this game, what are you doing? Go and play it. I really like this second game as well. Definitely no way near on my top 50 list, but I still have big respect for it. This changed a lot of people's minds about how video games can be art, because I know a lot of people who don't care about video games speak about this game a lot.
Does that have anything to do with me?
Talk about it later.
Did he tell you where the lab is?
We'll talk about it later.
You do not hesitate. You take it out, or you run. Got it?
Yes, sir. I'm so glad and grateful that Capcom took the time and effort to remake these games. And it's not just like, you know, a quick slap-on HD remix thing. They remade the game and remade the hell out of it. This game is so scary. And it's actually way harder than I remember, mate. Especially getting this gameplay. Rookie Leon is amazing. The dogs, the zombies, everything about it, the police station. I love this game. It's just one of the best Capcom games ever made, period. And Mr. X is pure sweat.
Heroes don't let people suffer.
Unless those people deserve to suffer.
I'll tell Batman you said that.
I think this game, for me personally, is superior than Mortal Kombat just because I love DC and comic book characters so much, because some of these fatalities, not fatalities, finishing moves, don't worry, no one dies in this game, but the finishes in here... Not only that, the story in this game is one of my favourite in all of DC. It asks the question, what would happen if Superman turned bad and started absolutely slapping people, which is an absolute nightmare, bruv. The combat in here is amazing. The finishes are amazing. So many characters to choose from. This is an absolute dub of a game. I really liked the first game, but they just smashed it with this game, man. Some of the sound effects, they will be forever ingrained in my mind, and I pray, please, give us Injustice 3.
We will face death and defend our home.
Without a shadow of a doubt, this is the greatest samurai game ever made. In fact, I'm going to go a step beyond and say I don't think they'll ever make a samurai game this good ever.
They really are singing. Sounds like they're cased all over the fort.
I truly believe that Assassin's Creed haven't done a Japan where you're basically as a ninja because this game was so goddamn good. I think they're just shook from making it. Visually beautiful, amazing characters, amazing dialogue, cutscenes were good. This is like a full package game, and not only that, you can do the thing where I love, choose how you want to play, man. You can be an honourable samurai, or you can be in the shadows, mate. Proper ninja style. The choice is yours. The first Assassin's Creed game, not only in London, where your boy's from, ladies and gentlemen. So obviously I'm going to like have a soft spot in my blackened soul for this game. Going to actual places in London that I've known and been to multiple times and seeing them in the game is amazing. But we get two characters, Jacob and Evie Fry. They're some of the best written characters in all of Assassin's Creed ever. This game did have some of the longest finishes ever, which, you know, I give respect to that, but I love seeing this, like, modern Assassin's Creed game, or this is at the time this recording anyway, this is the most modern we have. You've got guns and stuff in this. Obviously, it ain't as modern as, like, real life. I understand a lot of people didn't like it, but for me, I'd be lying if I didn't say I love this, like, way more than any other Assassin's Creed game bar one.
Kerlock is dead. Whitechapel is no longer in the hands of the Blighters.
I love the story of this game. I love the setting. Again, I love London City, man, my hometown. Jacob Fry is my second favourite assassin of all time. I've cosplayed as him. I love this game, man. I love it so much. It's just a win.
Poor man, more afraid than ever. The years have not been kind.
Evie Fry, where do you get it from?
The same place as you, Jacob.
The following 25 games are my absolute all-time favourites, and they made me the nerd I am today.
Get down on your knees. Now down on your stomach. There you go.
When this game came out, it was non-stop for about a full year at school. Me and the boys, or to be honest, everyone in school went insane for this game. It's huge, mate. San Andreas, arguably one of the best games ever made, if we're just going to, you know, be fair and say it how it is. It genuinely is one of the best ever made.
Sweet is alive. Alive and inside. He's in a prison hospital.
Hey, big up Samuel Jackson. I still forgot he was in this game, man. The story is so goddamn good. The characters are amazing. The driving, the riding, everything about it is so, so sick. Monumentally, outrageously humongous. I forgot, again, playing this game now, as I film and record this, I forgot how big this game is. The map, overall, I think it's still one of the biggest maps ever made. Correct me if I'm wrong. If anyone does know, let me know down below. But it's just absolutely juggernaut, mate. I can see anyone like saying that this is the best GTA game ever made. For me personally, it's not my favourite one, but I can't lie, this shaped my childhood.
Well, Ken, vouch for me, I'm a straight killer.
Oh, one-man fucking army, a real dependable, total fucking maniac too.
To the Empire.
We're all just expendable.
Yes, you are.
No!
Look at this. A lightsaber.
When EA and everyone who made this game announced it, I'll just, put my hands up. I'm transparent. I let you guys know how it is. I was shitting myself. I thought this is going to be bad, man. And we saw the gameplay, the cutscenes, and it started looking really, really good. And I can't lie. Right now, for me personally, this is my favourite Star Wars game of all time. Cal Kestis is just among there as one of my favourite Jedis of all time, based in the time of Order 66, one of my greatest things ever in Star Wars. The combat is just immense. The gameplay, there's so much. The characters, they're so good. When you're cutting people in half with a lightsaber, it feels like you're wielding a lightsaber. And the best thing about this game, Cal Kestis ain't some god tier Jedi and he can fight anyone and he can just slap anyone and they're just toasted, bruv. Nah, he makes mistakes. He's not perfect. He did not finish his training. So when he's fighting Inquisitors and he's struggling, it makes sense. They could have made him way too powerful, but they made it good. And the best thing ever is canon, baby.
That doesn't look good. It isn't. It's him.
Crash! My battery is fried. Make yourself useful, big brother, and bring an extra battery for me.
I don't know how old I was, but I remember for my birthday, my uncle Ronnie got me this game for the PS1, and I didn't even know what the F I was looking at. I never played the first game. I'm not even going to, cap about it, but I did go back to number 1 after I finished number 3. Number 1's well hard, bruv. What's up with that, mate? If you've played them, you know, even on the remastered versions, what you're seeing now. Back to Crash 2. I love this game. It's so sick, man. It's pure PlayStation 1 nostalgia for me. I'll never forget this game, ever.
You! Stop right there! Do you have any idea what you've done?
One of my favourite movies of all time, not just horror, but just in general, ladies and gentlemen, is Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead. Perfect characters with very scary zombies in one location, a mall, and now we have Dead Rising on the 360. When this came out, I was like, oh, yo, this is like me playing the game of Dawn of the Dead, and I was absolutely obsessed. You just kill zombies, the story's really good, but it's actually really goddamn hard. Playing this again now, it's not so bad, but when I first played this, I'm not sure how old I was, but I thought it was well hard.
Fantastic.
Aside from a little bit sus photography through this game, I love it, man. The story's good, the characters are great, the psychopath basically bosses, they're really, really awesome. The fact that you can go and save people, bring them back to your base, and so many people die in this game, and it's not like other games where you can just do everything. You have to genuinely choose who you're gonna save, because the other people will legit die. That's it. I loved Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but when 3 came out, my mind was blown, mate. I get all these characters, again, with better skins, but there's even more characters now, but the big one, mate, I get to play as Dante.
Keep it in style. Yeah.
But I get to be Dante, as you're going to see in this list, I love him, and Doctor Strange, my favourite Marvel hero of all time, ladies and gentlemen, and Dormammu on the same team with the most god-tier finishers ever. This game is an absolute win, an absolute hype. It's way harder than the second game, maybe because, I don't know, I played it a little bit more competitively, I noticed that, but please, Capcom, make Marvel vs. Capcom 4. We all waiting, man. Dante, yeah, on Devil May Cry 1 to 3 was a bad boy, mate. He was a bad boy, but I'm gonna be honest, he becomes a proper bad man in this game. He is so unbelievably powerful, and you don't even start as him, mate. You start as Nero, this brand new character you never seen, you never heard of. And I think, if I'm being honest, maybe I'm losing my marbles, mate, I think he's just as good as Dante, and I think it works good that the first massive half of the game you play as the new character. By the time you get to play as Dante, it's too good.
Just like a god.
They worship a demon as a god?
Peaceful worship can't be condemned.
It's just classic Devil May Cry action, over the top, amazing cutscenes, mate. Dante is so funny.
Glad I got your attention. I was beginning to feel a little ignored.
I love this game, man. I love it so, so much. And I'm so glad they introduced Nero, because I think he's just one of the best in the franchise now. He's so good.
In the end, we're all satisfied. You are set free.
Hey, I like 1978 too, but you know, this isn't gonna be a beer and strippers do. I mean, no offense, but I think that you might turn heads on the runway for the wrong reasons.
What's wrong with the way I'm dressed?
Here is another useless Semz story, ladies and gentlemen, free of charge, just for YouTube and Nerd Army. My first ever GTA game was GTA 2. I skipped 3. I never had that game. I actually had it after Vice City, but I initially got Vice City first. My mind was blown, bruv. This Miami serious story in 3D, I was absolutely gassed, bruv. I could not believe what my reptilian brain was seeing. Some of the greatest video game characters of all time, Tommy Vercetti is absolutely god tier. The cutscenes are great. And again, ladies and gentlemen, I think this is the 3rd, 4th or 5th on this list where I cannot share the music soundtrack because I will get claimed. You guys will never see this video. It will just be in the shadow realm forever. But some of the best tracks to any video game ever. I'm so sad that the new edition, which is what I'm showing you now, didn't have all the tracks. It made me salty as hell. Everyone in school, when San Andreas came out, was saying, like, you know, that's the greatest GTA game ever made, and I stood my ground from day one, and I said, like, Vice City is the best, it's just my favourite, you know, blah, 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 blah. It's not my favourite now, you're going to see very, very soon, but I was obsessed with Vice City.
I understand you are here on the behalf of Mr. Rosenberg. I hope any recent problems have not affected his health or mental well-being, Mr.
Vercetti.
In the fires of Mount Doom, a ranger and a wraith, bound together in death, craft the one thing that could challenge the Dark Lord. A ring of power. For those who follow me know, I absolutely love Middle-earth. I love The Lord of the Rings. I love Hobbit. Just everything and anything in Middle-earth, and I'm automatically liking it more. But when you give me a game in Middle-earth, basically god-level powers and a good story, which is technically canon, and I'm going to be over the moon, mate. I love this game so much. This is the second game. Obviously, Shadow of Mordor was the first one. And this is basically that game, but 99% better. What you're seeing now is like the boss chess match thing you play and you infiltrate and you turn them against you. This game has everything. There's another one. Replaying it, I did way too much, man. The combat, the powers, you feel brutal, you feel dangerous, mate. Like, any orcs around you are going to get absolutely slapped, fam. It reminds me a lot of, like, Spiderman or Batman Arkham City, Arkham Knight, you get it, Arkham Asylum. If you played those games, you know how the combat's like. This is the best Lord of the Rings game ever made.
Join us, brother. I am not of darkness yet.
When this game first came out, I was like hooked, mate. From Mass Effect 2, you'll see later on this list, way high up, mate. But I was hooked, man. I was absolutely hooked. I was so all in. Combat, storyline, characters, the missions, everything about Mass Effect. By the time Mass Effect 3 came out, I was on board, man. Ready, 100%.
Commander Shepard, restrain your colleague. We only found out about this transfer a few moments ago.
I'd like to avoid a diplomatic incident.
As would we.
I still remember when this game came out, the ending was hated so bad that they actually remade it. I don't think I've ever heard or played or read about anything of any game where the developers were like, shit man, we fucked it up so bad, we're gonna redo the ending and do it as like a patch, as like an add-on thing. You just download it for free. I don't think I've ever seen that, but thank God they did do it, because this would have been one of the biggest like casualty fails in any franchise. But Mass Effect 3 is a god tier game.
Grunt!
Anybody got something to eat?
Batman sighting.
Arkham City is a game where I could actually wholeheartedly say that I feel like I am Batman. This is the second game in the amazing franchise, and I really did like Asylum. I thought it was great, but now I get the entire city of Arkham in this game with the Batman that I love so much. Amazing detective skills. The combat is dangerous and brutal and so sick. Great villains, an absolute gem of a story. It's actually surprisingly emotional. I did like Arkham Knight, and really sadly at the time of this recording, Gotham Knights has come out literally like 2-3-ish weeks ago. It's not doing well, but Arkham City, I don't think it'll be beaten by any Batman game.
Any last requests? How about a joke?
Just like Arkham City made me literally say out loud that I am the MFing Batman, Spider-Man makes me feel like Spider-Man. Probably one of the greatest PS4 games of all time, especially as an exclusive. It's insane. I also want to give a big shout out to Miles Morales, that DLC add-on game, however you want to call it. It's not really the same length, but Miles Morales is an amazing game with this. This easily has the greatest web slinging in any video game. You can fight me on that, mate. When I'm swinging through New York, I am Spider-Man. The combat is really good as well. It's pretty much the same as like Arkham City, Asylum, Arkham Knight, Gotham Knights. You get it. You've played them all before. A little bit like Assassin's Creed as well. But where this shines, ladies and gentlemen, is the story. It's so emotional. I'm not going to spoil anything. I was literally crying by the end. I'm not even joking.
Go get him, Tiger.
What's up? Can a low come up in your crib?
Man, fuck you. I'll see you at work.
One of the greatest games ever made, just period, bruv. I think at the time of this recording, I should have Googled this, but we keep it real again on the channel, mate. I think this, in terms of all media ever, is the greatest selling. And I'll be honest, it bloody deserves it, mate. I remember breaking into my man's house, stealing his whip.
That's a 9mm semi-automatic pushed against your skull. Now look around. You just keep driving where you're going.
As soon as Mike turned up in the boot, that's when I realised this game is next level, bruv. Not to mention being able to play as 3 characters, never seen, never heard of before in any of the GTA games. It blew my reptilian mind. The heists, planning it, getting your team, doing the heists is some of my like greatest gaming memories of all time.
Go, 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 go! I'm on it, I'm on it.
All 3 characters are just god tier. They're so different, but so likeable, and there's so many lines of dialogue.
No, I really don't know why you mess around with people like that, Mike. I mean, really, I don't. Answer a fucking question.
Some of the greatest video game levels of all time. This one here, where you're basically pretending to be feds, chasing down the racers. I'm never gonna forget it, bruv. It's too good. This game is so cinematic, and I'm not even talking about GTA Online, bruv, which is a whole nother beast. Still to this day, especially like Twitch, it's outrageous, mate.
I feel horrible.
Final round. Fight.
Easily my favourite fighting game of all time. Randomly again, I actually started with Tekken 2. I played it with my Uncle Danny. That game is just way too hard, bruv. Like, I never could finish it, if I'm being honest, mate. Devil Kazuya slapped the fucking shit out of me, bruv. But this game, man... This came out and I was obsessed, mate. Absolutely obsessed. It's got my favourite character being Horang. It's got my second favourite character, Jin. And this is the first game they both came together. I still vividly remember playing this game as a child, fighting Ogre. And then he turns to true fucking Ogre. And it becomes even worse, bruv. And not to mention Gon, or Gun, whatever, the most cheese character. Hitman Blood Money, basically Hitman 4 first of all, but this is the game that made my Hitman obsession genuinely truly reach an all-time high. Gameplay, as always, it's just my preferred thing, man. Slow and easy, you can pick multiple things to kill multiple people, but the thing that stood out for me for this game, if I get my bloody words out, every single level was an absolute certified banger. And this one here is actually my favourite level of all time. It's just too good, bro. You feed the FBI some dodgy donuts, they KO themselves. And then you get the job done. It's just so hokey, so wacky, but so unbelievably sick. And this is the game that gave us the big dynamic crowds. I remember seeing this and being like, oh my god, the levels are massive. There's so many people. It feels like real life, bruv. What's going on? This genuinely started my Hitman obsession. I'm forever grateful for Hitman Blood Money, and I still need to play the other games.
Thanks.
When I first left that bloody cave at the start of Elden Ring and I saw that glowing tree, and it's just like setting in that this is one of the biggest RPG open world games that I've ever seen, my mind was absolutely blown, bruv. The fact that I can go anywhere and do anything and fight anyone I want, and if I can't beat them, I can just leave, bro. I'm not like stuck behind anything. I can just walk away and come back again. This is the most latest game on this list, and it still made this list. That's like just a testament to how effing good this is. The boss battles are insane, bruv. Dragons, monsters, big-ass wolves, bruv. Dudes with dragon heads attached to their arm, breathing fire, mate. Satan-looking people. This game is so goddamn good. It's one of those things, unless you play it, you don't know how good it is. Honestly, playing this again is just like brought it back in my memory about how much I effing love this game. I can't believe it's so high up on this list and it's still so new. It's just proof that this is a masterpiece game. I don't even like Dark Souls, if I'm being honest, but I just love this game.
La plaga es mucho mejor que la nuestra. Tienes razón.
When this first came out, it was like instantly teleported to like my top 10 list straight away. It's the day one it came out, and obviously, I mean, it should be a no-brainer. It should be obvious, but this is obviously my favourite like Resident Evil game ever. Playing as Leon again, but now he's not a rookie. He's not just stuck in like the, you know, the police headquarters or anything like that. It's a new world. It's not in Raccoon City. I was in love, mate. Like, it is just everything I want in a Resident Evil game. The combat is unreal. Combat's great, the upgrading's great, the story's good, you know, you got to go and get the bloody girl back. It's so basic, but it turns into something absolutely legendary. And at the time of this recording, they're actually doing the Resident Evil 4 remake. It's not out yet, but bet your ass, bruv, I cannot wait for that to come out. It also has arguably some of the greatest cutscenes ever and quick time events. When you're fighting my man on screen now and it's knife to knife combat, if you miss out on a button, bruv, Leon's dead, mate. That is like back in the day. It's not so bad now. Replayed it for you guys now. Back in the day when I was a child, my hands are sweating, mate. Pure sweat, just dripping in pure fear.
What do you want? Sorry, Dante. I'm back in this bitch.
By far my favourite Devil May Cry game of all time, and I truly mean it when I say I did not think anything would top Devil May Cry 4. I thought that was like the pinnacle of this franchise.
Just getting right to the point, huh?
Once again, of course, you got your boy Nero, who at this time, I'm already in love with, man. I've replayed DMC4 so many times. Of course, you got Dante, the beyond god tier character, but this time, you also have a new character called V, which is dangerous because, like, you don't really know anything about him, and he's just, like, coming out of nowhere kind of thing.
I have no name. I am but 2 days old. Just kidding. You can call me V.
But the fact that he's now already, and this game's relatively new, like a fan favourite, and his combat is so unique. You summon like bloody ravens and panthers and all this stuff. He's so different to Nero and Dante. All three of them are so different. That's why this game is so effing good. You have a massive variety of like different gameplay, even though it's all the same stuff. Beat the shit out of people on screen, kill the demons ASAP, you get it. Every character feels different and so unique. Also, the story's great, but the best thing, Dante gets a motorbike. That's an instant dub. Come on now.
My turn.
Absolutely love the God of War franchise, and I still do think at the time of this recording, this is by far the greatest God of War game of all time. And do you know what's really annoying? Again, at the time it's recorded, Ragnarok is not out yet. I really want this video to come out. If it turns up being on this list, it is what it is. But this first game... it's everything, bruv. The Leviathan axe, I didn't think I'd ever like something more than like Thor's Mjolnir, but nah, this is everything, mate. The story is so rich. It is so goddamn emotional if you played the game, you know. It's not just some beat 'em up, hack and slash game. Amazing characters, rich worlds, the gameplay is unreal, and just the father and son and dynamic between Kratos and Atreus is unbelievable, mate. Can't even get my words out. Some of the best cinematography, some of the best cutscenes. This game is god tier, mate, hence the name God of War.
What are you doing?
We have to help him.
Hold on!
I think obsession is the right word when this game first came out. I love the post-apocalyptic world of Boston. Is so unbelievably beautiful looking. I hate that word so much. I love Fallout, man, as a franchise. This is definitely, for me personally, the best one by far. One of my favourite games ever. Everything about this game, when it first came out, I was hooked. All the noises that these games have are just ingrained in my mind. The story, while not the best thing in the world, it's the open world stuff that makes this game like god tier. Combat's great. The fact that I can do whatever I want in this world. I can build my base. I spent so many hours on that. I'd be lying if I didn't mention like how much this game means to me. Going around Boston with dog meat. replayed this game so many times, and every time I do, it's like a new game to me. I find new things, I do things in different ways, I do different factions. This game, man, I can't wait for Fallout 5, boy. Come on.
Underground when the Great War started. Spent the last few decades littering the Commonwealth with their technological nightmares.
Okay, so here we go. Assassin's Creed Black Flag is not only, for me, the greatest Assassin's Creed game ever made. Not only is Edward Kedway my favourite assassin of all time, but I'm saying it right now, this is by far the greatest pirate game ever made, ladies and gentlemen. I'm saying it.
In your face before! You's mates with them pirates down in Nassau! Shut your fucking gob or I'll fill it with shot, you hear me? Edward, is it?
It's like Ubisoft made the greatest pirate game of all time with some of the greatest like pirate ship fighting mechanics ever, and then they just dipped it in Assassin's Creed, and it turned out to be this absolute masterpiece of a game. Perfect, man. Absolutely perfect. I've replayed it so many times. The cutscenes are so good. The characters are so good. There's so many unique one-off things this game does that the others do not do. Of course, it's not just pirate-based. You've obviously got your standard Assassin's Creed solo missions that these games loved. The combat is very, very good. It's very brutal. Being a pirate, you know, you're not playing games, bruv. You're not messing around. You're going to shoot people right in the face. Dead, mate. The pirate ship combat is unbelievable. The first time I went up that pirate ship and I killed those, like, scumbags, I was gassed, mate. You actually grow like a bond with your pirate ship crewmates. It's so unbelievably sick. Like, no other game has ever made me feel like that. I mean it, I don't think there will ever be a better Assassin's Creed game, and there will never be a better pirate game than Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Fight me, bruv. I don't care what you say.
Can you feel it, Addy? We're moments away from the grandest prize of all.
I feel nothing but a hot wind in my ears, Captain.
Come on, man. When we take this treasure, we'll be set for life, all of us. 10 times over.
As you wish.
If I made a list of like what I think the greatest video games ever made are, not just my favourites, this could be number one, or at least in like the top three. Easily, bruv. If you played this game, you know what's going on. The Witcher 3. First of all, Geralt of Rivia, one of the greatest video game characters ever made, one of my personal favourites ever made, but the world of The Witcher is immense. It feels real. The map is stupidly big. It's still, I think, to this day, in 2022, going into 2023, one of the biggest gaming maps ever made, and it's just amazing, mate.
Not a drop of blood on the beak or claws. Didn't defend herself.
There is so many missions and so many monsters, and it's your job to just slap them and get rid of them. Everything you do and say has genuine consequences.
How about that? She's grown up.
The combat is not like the best thing I've ever played. It kind of, again, feels like, you know, Batman, Assassin's Creed, Spiderman, a little bit. Probably not as good, if I'm being honest, but the story blasts those other games. Like, this is pure fantasy heaven. I'm in my zone playing this game.
I know not what happened there, save terror through and through. Hendrix.
This game is a 10 out of 10 god tier masterpiece, and I'll be playing it till the day Witcher 4 comes out, whenever that is.
I'm Philip Strenger. Now the blobtits round here call me the Bloody Baron.
Geralt of Rivia. Blobtits call me the Butcher of Blaviken.
So yeah, my first game was Pokemon Blue, then I had Yellow, but then I had Gold and Silver, and these absolutely blew my mind, bruv. I had Gold, my sister had Silver. This was when I realised Pokemon is no joke. It's one of my favourite things in life ever, bruv. I enjoyed this game, replayed it so much, and everything about it is bloody god tier, mate. Fact that we have now brand new Pokemon mixed with the older Pokemon in a brand new game, in a brand new world, blah, 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 you get it. I know it sounds thingy now because we get a game like every year, but back then it blew my mind, brother. Not only that, this was finally the game where I get to have my old school classic setup of Umbreon, Gengar, Gyarados, Feraligatr, Houndoom, and Arbok. Red Dead Redemption 2. I mean, what hasn't been said about this game? It starts off so slow. It's so beautiful. It slowly builds up to this absolutely mind-blowingly good story. Probably the best story, apart from one other maybe, that I've ever played, ever. This is an absolute god-tier masterpiece. I think it's Rockstar's best work, better than any GTA. I'm so sorry if you don't agree. That's absolutely fine. It just means you're wrong. When you go back to camp and you have all these like crew members speaking to you, you actually feel like they're real people, and this is like one of the only games that I can actually truthfully say that.
Well, you'll never change. I know that.
And that's not to mention the combat. Oh my god, it is so brutal, so insane. When you shoot people and you can like blow off their legs and they're like on the floor like slowly dying, it feels very gritty, very, very realistic, and I'm all for it, man. The shooting alone, god tier, and you mix that with an absolutely insane story, man. The cutscenes is what really hammers this home, and you feel like you actually have like this family.
I need you to stay calm.
This could be, and I've said it a few times on this list, but this could be the greatest game ever made. I'm not even joking. I'm not capping. I think it's a one-of-a-kind, beyond god tier, unmeasurable to any other game. That is how good this is, and I'm just grateful, man. I'm grateful I played it. It's an absolute legend.
To your good health.
Thank you.
Vanderland! Get out here!
Shepard did everything right. More than we could have hoped for.
Commander Shepard uncovered the truth.
And still, it's not enough.
Mass Effect 2, ladies and gentlemen, always is, probably always will be, my second favourite game of all time. I'm going to give you a little story, ladies and gentlemen. A true story. I first played this game. I was loving it. I realised how good this was. I didn't finish all the side quests. I didn't power up my ship. I didn't do anything. And the whole idea of this game is basically you, Commander Shepard, and your team, Garrus, and blah, 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 you get it. You're going on what's called the suicide mission. I'm not going to spoil it, but that's what this whole thing is. Get a team, do something impossible, and that's it. And I'll be honest, the next thing that happened traumatized me, mate.
This should slow him down.
I finished the game and every single one of my crew members, apart from one, were dead. All dead. And I actually cried, ladies and gentlemen. I cried real kiddie tears because I was way young then, and I made a vow. I'm going to play this game again. I'm going to do every single thing and all my crew members will survive. I played it again and again and again, and they survived every time, by the way. I didn't keep failing, but I kept playing it again and again and again, and it really drove home this like kind of family space epic adventure game. And Mass Effect, this is the peak, man. This is peak Mass Effect.
Just relax and hear my words.
Marin.
The characters, the worlds, the ship, your crewmates, the fighting, the shooting, everything is god tier. The fact that, once again, you do things, you say things, it affects the world around you, and I just absolutely love that. You can play this good, you can play it fully evil, or you can mix it up. That's what I like to do. I kind of just like play as if I was Commander Shepard kind of thing.
Got no shield.
I love Mass Effect 1, I love Mass Effect 3, I don't really like Andromeda if I'm being totally honest, but Mass Effect 2 is peak video game perfection. I love everything about it. This is BioWare at their absolute best.
But you're still going to die, screaming.
No! Have I got your attention?
That shut him up.
Anytime I get asked the one question, maybe the most important question in life, ladies and gentlemen, as a gamer, what is your favourite game of all time? My choice, my pick, has never changed. Since 2011, when I had very bad depression and I played this game, I was in a shit way, mate. This game gave me something, just pure happiness, bruv. This game, I've played, I made a video on it on the second channel. I tallied up everything on all consoles, all editions. I've had all of them. Nearly 1 year, mate. 1 year.
Did you hear me?
Yep, Ale's going bad.
I guess you don't have potatoes in your ears after all.
The world of Skyrim, just god tier. It's god tier, it's unmatched in any video game for me, for fantasy at least. It's so rich, so much lore, there's books, hundreds and millions and billions of characters, and the magic is so goddamn good. I love it so much. This is one of the only games where I feel like I'm free to do actually anything I want, and I love open world RPGs with rich stories, blah blah blah, you get it, but I truly feel alive and free in this game. But not only that, bruv. This game gave me the Vampire Lord, ladies and gentlemen, which is just like Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, where I said that's the greatest pirate game ever made. I think this is the best vampire game ever made. Even though it's not a vampire game, you know what I'm saying. I love it so goddamn much. Every single time I play this game, I'm going vampire, bruv. The Vampire Lord DLC, Dawn Guard, it is god tier. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your boy's top 50 video games of all time. I'm sorry this video is going to be long, but this is kind of like a passion project, man. I really wanted to do this. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, smash the like button. That would be truly sick, and I will really greatly appreciate that. Thank you so much for watching. I know this has been a long one. I appreciate you all, man. You guys are sick. Peace.